Steve, Pennsylvania, you're in the Wilkow majority. Hello.
Hey, Andrew. Thanks for taking my call. I heard before you said that the conservatives are always armed with facts and liberals emotion, but I think this gun debate just proves the exact opposite, especially if you look at the right-wing media. Fox, Drudge, calling Obama a tyrant, fascist, likening him to Hitler, Mao, Stalin. That is his pure emotion and not backed by any facts. So I think that
now, what do you call using little kids to read their little letters? What do you call that?
I call that typical political campaign stuff that both parties do all the time.
I don't remember George Bush doing that.
Yeah, George Bush actually did.
I was going to say maybe he did. I'm saying I don't remember it.
Then the right-wing media is just completely hypocritical then, because they never called Bush.
I just said that. Did I just said I don't remember when did Bush have the cutesy poo kids reading letters telling him to do something or not do something?
Okay, how does kids reading letters make someone fascist?
I didn't say that. I said it's Banana Republic-ish. It has its rooted history in people who turned out to be some of history's monsters. It is getting somebody to read into a statement that they are not wise enough to understand.
So how are you not trying to, let's say you're using these loose associations, but saying, I'm not calling him a fascist, but he's doing things
It is a tactic used most notably by fascists, is it not?
So is he or is he not?
But no, tell me which issue George Bush had kids reading things to him saying, please, President Bush, stop.
But now you're changing the debate.
No, you said that Bush did it. You said Bush did it. I'm just trying to remember the issue. What issue was it?
He signed a bill on stem cell research, and I'm pretty sure he was surrounded by kids.
You're pretty sure, so you don't really remember. Did the kids read emotional letters telling him to save these unborn lives?
I don't know. I just think that part of it's just ridiculous.
The part where Obama does it or the part where Bush does it?
No, the part that you are so worked up over kids reading.
No, I'm not worked up. I just don't. I think that.
I mean, you understand that the problem in Russia.
I think when you have kids on a stage, do you think children are wise enough at the age of 8 years old to comprehend the political statements they're making?
No, probably not.
Okay, so what is it when you use children to read this, other than to draw people in emotionally? It's
called politics. It's what both parties do. Not one man who is enforcing tyranny on the U.S. That's where you guys are full of emotion and no facts.
Okay, Mike just sent me this thing. I'm full of facts. We could do this all day. Bush vetoes embryonic stem cell bill, July 19, 2016. And in politics, there's George Bush holds a child that was adopted while an embryo Wednesday after vetoing a stem cell research bill. Hold on a second. The bill was okay. There's no mention. These boys and girls are not spare parts, he said, and the children. They remind us that what is lost when embryos are destroyed. Bush said the bill, I'm looking to see if there's anything with kids. No mention of kids getting up to participate. No mention of kids. No mention of kids. No mention of kids getting up to participate.
Okay, so it's the participation.
Yes, that's exactly the point. Can you get that YouTube video back up of the Barack Hussein Obama?
Okay, but can we agree that the problems in Nazi Germany, Communist Soviet Union, were not kids reading letters, but they had other problems?
But what is it? What is it? What outside of funny mustaches and swastikas and what is it that not National Socialism? And I know that sets people. You can't compare now. It is national. The first thing that Hitler did was disarm people. He passed a gun control law in 1934.
Yeah.
34. Is it 34? I want to get that right. I don't want to get that wrong. Right. Was it 34, Mike? What year was it? 34 or 38? I don't think he was the chancellor in 34. I want to make sure I get my history on that one right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
somewhere around there.
But all of the things that when you look at and minus carting people off to ovens, when you look at all of the way they want the economy to run and education to run and what the rights of the citizens are, okay, that's not the. I know he was the man of the year 1930. I want to know what year he passed the gun ban. That versus free societies, free markets, classical liberalism.
Right.
it seems that the American progressive movement is not driving us towards classical liberalism, but away from it.
I mean, if we want to talk about free market, that's a different debate. I don't know.
No. I even said on this program, sir, that so far that I have been saying that he has not passed any new laws, that the executive action that he took isn't even really anything but a memo affirming his belief.
The executive action towards gun control, is that what you're talking about?
Yes, it even says right in it, this will affect no person. It says right in it.
Yeah, you're right. That's what
but I've been saying that. You're telling me about the right. But originally, that's not what it sounded like the way he was talking. He kept saying, I'm going to take every action. I'm going to take every action. Well, when he said that before, all of a sudden the DREAM Act kids became legal citizens. So it's people are freaking out because they wouldn't put it past him. They wouldn't put it past him, 1938.
All this information is readily available, but you have the right-wing media using these headlines like...
So what about the left-wing media, sir? Whenever we talk about a...
listen, Drudge was full of communist and fascist dictators with...
But I mean, like, whenever...
How is that not emotional? How is that not emotional?
Legitimate rape and all this other stuff. Every time a conservative steps on a word or says something that's, stupid, even when they apologize, all of a sudden we're all getting these Emily's List emails, and all of a sudden they're on MSNBC. They want to take away your birth control. How many times did we hear during the last election cycle? No, I want you to answer this one, Steve. How many times did we hear that Republicans were trying to limit women's access to birth control?
Right. You heard every left-wing pundit on MSNBC.
And where was that coming from? Where was that coming from? Was anyone in the Republican Party talking about going into Walgreens and taking birth control pills and condoms away? Anybody? No.
No. I mean, but
were you chastising progressive media for being totally whacked out of their minds and getting?
Actually, I think progressive media it's corporate media. It's all ridiculous.
Okay. Well,
it's all designed to entertain and not inform anyone. So yeah, it's all ridiculous. MSNBC is just.
What is designed to inform, though?
What are you asking?
What is if this is all some big corporate charade to make money and not designed to inform people? What is? I mean, the Daily Show is the Daily Show is. You're going to tell me please don't tell me the Daily Show.
Okay. The Daily Show is complete entertainment.
Okay. So what is designed to inform?
There are very few outlets left that are true investigative journalism.
Like what?
Left in America.
And don't say NPR.
I think Frontline does a great job, investigative journalism. Sometimes you'll get a good story out of the New York.
But I don't claim to be an investigative journalist. I cite all my sources. I publish all of my sources. So if I'm giving something that's relatively boring, a more entertaining presentation, but at the same time I'm also presenting all of the facts, citing all of my sources, giving all of the stats, what am I doing that lumps me into your version of hysterical conservative media?
You perpetuate the notion that somehow we are all your guns are going to be taken away, and we're leading towards fascism or tyranny. You perpetuate that in other ways. But part of the problem and not the solution.
So the growth of government since FDR has not removed any of our freedoms. I'm waiting.
FDR, is that your question?
Yes. Since FDR, are you telling me that we have not seen a loss of certain liberties?
Well, of course. I mean, especially since 9/11.
Okay. And conservatives were against the parts of the Patriot Act that were deemed that were seen as unconstitutional.
Right.
So again, as government grows, are we not losing our liberties?
Well, it depends on which liberties you're talking about. And remember, we elect
no.
House of Representatives. They represent the.
But they have limits on their power, sir.
They do,
we are not a democracy, sir. We don't. Politicians don't get to assume whatever authority they desire. There are parameters on all offices and branches of government. We have jettisoned the concept of they must ask us for more power before we give it to them, the consent of the governed, not deeming that the result of an election.
I completely agree with you.
But when the government says you have to buy our retirement program, Social Security, we are going to tax you for a food stamp program that you can't participate in. There's no mention in the Constitution for these things. There's no warrant whatsoever for this form of government, yet we're living with it. So if you don't like the word tyranny, sir, you can give it another word. But when the government crosses its boundaries, when it breaks its own laws and cannot be held accountable by any means, then we do have tyranny. Thank you for the call.